Well, we have the answer to the question we've been waiting for. Will Judge Aileen Cannon, now that she's been publicly offered the job of Attorney General, or is on the shortest of short lists for that job by Donald Trump, who once was a criminal defendant in her courtroom, will she disqualify herself and recuse herself? And the answer to that is a resounding no. How do I know that? Because we've got a new order concerning a motion to disqualify brought by the would-be assassin, Ryan Wesley Ruth of Donald Trump down in Florida, who got assigned to who? To Aileen Cannon. And we got the new order. I'm Michael Popok, Legal AF, and the MeidasTouch Network. And in the order, she acknowledges that in the press that there's been a job opportunity offered to her, but she says that's not enough for me to go anywhere. It was a very prickly order. I'm going to read from it. She's annoyed. She finds it takes great umbrage in anyone attacking her credentials or her ethics. And why would we? She's just the Trump-appointed judge who made a decision for the first time in 250 years of constitutional analysis in rejection of the Supreme Court's own decisions back in 1974 in the Nixon case that the special counsel, special prosecutor, independent counsel are all appropriate, quote, inferior officers under Article 2 of the Constitution, but not for Aileen Cannon. So she gets very offended if anybody suggests that the case wasn't assigned to her randomly. It was. Period, she said in her order. Okay. The major argument was, it's publicly been declared and not denied by the Trump campaign that she is the leading candidate for Attorney General. If it's not her, it's a bunch of other crazy neoconservatives. So let's just leave it at that. And she acknowledges that it's out there. She doesn't say, well, that's not really out there. It's just, well, if every idle speculation about a job promotion was out there could just disqualify a judge, that would allow the media and the press to have veto power over our justice system. No, it would reinforce people's own credibility, our own belief that the justice system is credible, that there is integrity about it, as opposed to it circling the drain ever since she was assigned to the case. Now, the 11th Circuit, once they reverse their decision, and yes, you heard it here, they're going to reverse their decision to dismiss the indictment and the 40 felony counts against Donald Trump and reinstate that case. The only question is when. It's going to be after the election and before the inauguration. And then they're going to have to make the decision, and they're going to have to solve for the problem of Aileen Cannon. And I think they have to reassign the case under the powers of the 11th Circuit and all appellate courts to reassign the case away from the trial judge based on the factors that are appropriate in Florida in particular. But in the meantime, she's got her first opportunity, and I believe the 11th Circuit is watching this carefully. You don't think the 11th Circuit has eyes and ears? This isn't news. It is now on the MeidasTouch Network that Aileen Cannon just analyzed out loud her thinking about why she never has to be recused, why the justice system and its integrity is never in jeopardy when she's in charge. Let me read to you from the order, and you'll see what I'm talking about in sort of this kind of prickly, umbrage-taking, weak analysis, which actually is a hallmark, I think, of Judge Cannon. So here's what she said. She goes on to say that on page 3, the defendant, which is this would-be assassin, argues that recusal is warranted because former President Trump has made various public statements about me. As defendant acknowledges, I have no control over what private citizens, members of the media or public or officials or candidates elect to say about me or my judicial rulings, nor am I concerned about the political consequences of my rulings or how those rulings might be viewed by some in the media. I have never spoken to or met former President Trump, except in connection with his required presence at an official judicial proceeding through counsel. In other words, he went to court in her courtroom. I have no relationship to the alleged victim in any reasonable sense of that phrase. I follow my oath to administer justice faithfully and impartially in accordance with the Constitution. The problem is nobody believes that. Everybody watching her believes she's bending over backwards to help her patron, one named Donald Trump. She then goes on page 4 to say, defendant makes speculative reference to the, quote, prospect of a judicial promotion, suggesting that such a prospect could arguably affect this court's ability to be impartial in this case. Yes, Yes, we're suggesting that a human being that occupies the black robe may have their impartiality reasonably questioned if the criminal defendant before them and the victim, potential victim of this assassination attempt in this case, right, publicly promoted her to move her up to Attorney General or worse, Supreme Court Justice. Yes, there is a reasonable expectation or at least a belief that you may be contorting your rulings in order to curry favor with the person that can control your growth and your promotion of your career track. Yes, that is reasonable, but not to Aileen Cannon. Traditional bed sheets, they can harbor more bacteria than a toilet seat. It can lead to acne, allergies, and stuffy noses, and it's just gross. Miracle Made offers a whole line of self-cleaning, antibacterial bedding, such as sheets, pillowcases, and comforters that prevent up to 99.7% of bacteria growth and require up to 3 times less laundry. Using silver-infused fabrics inspired by NASA, Miracle Made sheets are thermoregulating and designed to keep you at the perfect temperature all night long, no matter the weather. So you get better sleep every night. Miracle sheets are luxuriously comfortable without the high price tag of other luxury brands and feel as nice, if not nicer, than sheets used by some 5-star hotels. Stop sleeping on bacteria. Bacteria can clog your pores, causing breakouts and acne. Sleep clean with Miracle. These sheets are infused with silver that prevent up to 99.7% of bacterial growth, leaving them to stay cleaner and fresh 3 times longer than other sheets. No more gross odors. Go to trymiracle.com/legalaf to try Miracle Made sheets today. And whether you're buying them for yourself or as a gift for a loved one, if you order today, you can save over 40%. And if you use our promo, LegalAF at checkout, you'll get 3 free towels and save an extra 20%. Miracle is so confident in their product, it's backed with a 30-day money-back guarantee. So if you aren't 100% satisfied, you'll get a full refund. Upgrade your sleep with Miracle Made. Go to trymiracle.com/legalaf and use the code LegalAF to claim your free 3-piece towel set and save over 40% off. Again, that's trymiracle.com/legalaf to treat yourself. Thank you, Miracle Made, for sponsoring this episode. She goes on to say, the decision whether a judge's impartiality can reasonably be questioned is to be made in light of the facts as they existed, not as they've been surmised or reported. You notice she does not say and lay this out in the right way on purpose. What she should say, and then she can do whatever she wants with it, but the accurate report would be for this judge to say that there has been a leak of a memo by the Presidential Transition Committee vetted by Boris Epshteyn on behalf of Donald Trump that has her as the number 2 candidate for the Attorney General position, and that came after the indictment was dismissed by her in Mar-a-Lago, which looks like a quid pro quo award for a promotion, and everything she's been doing is a job tryout. Now, if she wants to reject the appearance of that and the fact she'd also have to properly report that the Trump organization and campaign have not denied that leak. Okay, then you say, but even if that were true, X, Y, and Z, I can still stay on the case. She never reports it that way. What she says on page 4 is that there's speculative reference to a job promotion. That is creating a straw man out of this reality of facts in order to ignore them and to run away from them. I mean, at least have intellectual honesty and write what is in the public domain and what is the leak and the nature of the leak. And then you can try to contort yourself into the case law to say, I'm still not biased. But this only shows me that the judge is biased and does need to be removed. And I think the 11th Circuit may see it the same way. If I'm Jack Smith, this may be an exhibit that they attach to a motion. If not, the 11th Circuit can call up this from the public docket just the way I could. And I think they will. She then says she's not going to get out of the case because of rumors or speculation, although she doesn't deny they're true. She just says, let's just look at what she says so artfully. I've never spoken to or met former President Trump. Okay. What about the campaign? What about the campaign? So look on page 3 of her order. Look how craftily she leaves out whether she's been in contact with the presidential transition team or anybody on it to add her name to the list. We're left to speculate that they just threw her name up on the board without running it by people close to her. How about proxies for Trump, talking to proxies for Aileen Cannon? I don't know if that's true, but they're certainly not dispelled by this approach to her analysis in her own order. And then she goes on to just talk about and try to equate and make an equivalency between the public fact that there is a leaked document with her name on it from the Trump transition team, which nobody denies, and she doesn't deny having a conversation with the Trump transition team or anybody in her orbit, like her husband or somebody. And she equates that on the same scale as, and the team for the defendant also claims that I went to high school in 1999 or 2000 with one of the prosecutors and I went to his wedding. All right, I know where she went to high school. I practiced in Florida for 20 years and in Miami and in Coconut Grove. We all know she went to Ransom Everglades private school and I know plenty of people that went there. But, she makes it seem like, where I went to high school in 2000 is the same thing as me just being offered a job opportunity and a promotion publicly by the former criminal defendant in my courtroom. Come on. Enough. Enough is enough. I was wondering why my coverage of Aileen Cannon was just covered in Newsweek, citing MeidasTouch, Legal AF, and Michael Popok. Now I know why. Because who else is talking about these things this way? I'm going to continue to follow it closely. That is an indicator. That is a leading indicator that Aileen Cannon is. I used to say she was over her skis. No. She is purposefully trying to find a way to stay in all cases Donald Trump, whereas a more reasonable, sober jurist would have already recused and disqualified themselves. Just as the chief judge of the Miami and Southern District of Florida courts told her to do, asked her to do, Judge Altanaga, just as I think the more senior judge in that district, in that division, Judge Middlebrooks, implored her to do, and she said, no, period. I'm staying in the case. Okay. Now I'll have to let the 11th Circuit act. In the meantime, we'll keep following it here on Legal AF and the MeidasTouch Network. So you can get me here on the MeidasTouch Network. Legal AF, the podcast, Wednesdays and Saturdays at 8 p.m. Eastern Time, and wherever you pick up audio podcasts from. Or Legal AF, the YouTube. Legal AF, it's at Legal AF MTN for MeidasTouch Network. We're doing some great things over there at the intersection of law and politics. We don't blow smoke or sunshine, and we're right here. Find out what 50 million people a month know. Legal AF is the home of law and politics analysis and commentary like no other. So until my next contribution, this is Michael Popok, and I am reporting. In collaboration with the MeidasTouch Network, we just launched the Legal AF YouTube channel. Help us build this pro-democracy channel where I'll be curating the top stories at the intersection of law and politics. Go to YouTube now and free subscribe at Legal AF MTN. That's at Legal AF MTN.